Hi, this is zebracode.io, and we are on lesson 13 looking at data structures. And we're going to do a quick review of when we looked at CSV files and text files, because what we want to do is build some tuples and a list of tuples, and then be able to sort our list based on different elements within that tuple. So let's review this. This is some code that we took out of the CSV section, and it's import CSV, and then we're going to open up a file. In this case, it's all of the stock prices for 1 year for Ford. That's called f.csv, and we're opening it in read mode. We're going to use the csv.reader method and create a new variable called reader, so all of the data from the CSV file will be stored there. Then we have all the headers, and we can print the headers. So let's go ahead and run this code, and when we print the headers, we see this is all the data. We can also open up the file that the first column is the date, the open, the high, the low, the close, the volume, and then we have some additional data. We're going to focus on the first 6 of those columns, and we have the date, the open, the high, the low, the close, and the volume, and I've stored them all here. So those are the columns that we want to focus on, and what we want to be able to do is sort. The data is in date order, but at the end we're going to want to sort on the volume order. So we're going to see all the data from the lowest volume to the highest volume, which can provide us different insights into the data. So what do? We do for x in reader. Reader is the variable here that stores all of the information from the CSV file. It's the same within line 7 here to line 11. And now we're going to create a tuple. And a tuple is just going to be an empty container, and we use tuples again to store records, and records are immutable, and we're focused only on these columns. And we're going to be focusing on these 6 columns. So I can cut and paste and put in here now the different columns, the 0 position, the 1 position, all the way up to the 5 position. So we have in the first one the date, the open, the high, the low, the close, and the volume. And eventually what we're going to do is want to be able to sort on the volume, because all of the information that's currently stored in the CSV file is by order of the date. So the next thing we need to do as we iterate through this reader, which stores all of the data within the CSV file, the first thing we want to do is create an empty list called data. Data is assigned the value of an empty list, and we're going to do data.append, and we're going to append the tuple. So as we go through each record, we put another record in, another record, until we have all of the trading days, which is about 250 approximately trading days in a year. So at the very end of this, when we're done with the loop, we have all of the data, and I can use this sort function here and a lambda function, and it's going to be the name of the method, the name of the list, which is data.sort, and we're going to use a key equals lambda x, and then finally this 5 represents the position, the 5th position. That's what we want to sort on. So we can sort on any of these positions, whether it's a 0 all the way to the 5, or any record or any column that we want within our tuple. So once we have the data, now it's sorted in the correct order, we can iterate through the data and simply print x. And if we print x, we'll just have all of the values, we'll have the tuples now in a sorted order. Again, focused on volume. It will be going from the lowest volume to the highest volume, and all we have to do is print, instead of TUP, we actually can just print X, because X is the variable within our for loop. So let's go ahead and save and execute this code, and instead of the data being sorted by the date, we should expect the data to be sorted by the volume. And we can run this by typing in python.sort.py. So when we execute the code, we'll see the data, and on the far right is the volume, and we can see the lower volume, and with each record it's increasing, and we can see on February 5th, 2018, it had the highest volume for the data within the CSV file. So what have we done? We've learned a little bit about data structures. We learned how to use tuples, which commonly are used to hold records. And in this case, we have a list of tuples, or we could have a dictionary of tuples. And we've learned a lambda function that makes it easy to sort, particularly if we're using a list, to sort the data based on any column within the tuple. This is zebracode.io. We're on lesson 13, learning about data structures.